Hi guys, hello meet everybody, it's MicheleMarieDalene, and for those of you who wondered why there always is a delay when using the Gram versus the other chatter program, it's because this one does things a little bit differently than the other one, and I didn't want to jump the gun. And like I usually am outside on the porch today. And dude, if you didn't come here earlier, because if you had, you would have. Ew. Yeah, I stuck some barbecue grease on the table. Ew. I hate greasy shit. Okay. Anyway, I had a barbecue today. So it was a really nice dinner. Now, most of you who never cooked on wood, it was a wood barbecue. My favorite kind. Although, I have to be honest, I get really dirty and really shitty, and so I washed my hair before I came up here on camera because I was kind of dirty and icky. But today I wanted to talk to you about North Korea and what's going on with the situation in North Korea. And let's hope to God that the video doesn't die halfway through. My alternate power supply. Let's see. It's right there. Yeah. Okay. So I turn on the alternative power supply to make sure that stays nice and hot. I have friends. I wanted to try to explain something about the backstory about North and South Korea. For those of you who are unaware of how the Korean War ended. In 1953, an armistice was signed between North and South Korea. Basically, it's a peace treaty. No, it's a ceasefire. It wasn't actually a peace treaty. No treaty was actually signed. So technically, we were at war with North Korea ever since. Really did anything about it. North Korea kept up to their end of the bargain with the ceasefire. South Korea, of course, developed into its own very industrialized country, as you know, from Samsung and many other Korean brands. North Korea doesn't really have that. North Korea has really very little as far as industrial exports, except for coal and a few other odds and ends. Well, the North Korean, which is the DPRK, which stands for People's Republic of Korea, is what they call themselves, the DPRK. The sad truth is it's not democratic. It's actually very, very much a dictatorship. With Louis the 16th of France could understand Kim Jong-un very well, thank you. The Sun King was the same way. He ran France with an iron fist. And not as bad as Napoleon Bonaparte, but still really compared to Kim Jong-un, you really need to compare with Napoleon Bonaparte, sometimes known as the Butcher. Because when you look at his behaviors, it definitely is of a person who is a butcher. And I hate the way my skin looks on this camera. Oh, dear God, it looks off. Because I'm so used to looking at my face in black and white now. I'm not used to looking at my skin color, and it just looks weird. And but anyway, so because of the situation with North Korea, kind of kept the United States has always kind of kept North Korea at arm's length. Okay, they originally were allies with China. They originally were allies with Russia. Russia kind of still respects the original alliance from the times when Russia was a communist country. But at the same time, things have changed since the ceasefire was signed, the armistice in 1953. And one of the most things that changed was the United States, since 1972's visit with Richard Nixon to China and the development of China as a trading partner, we began to see that North Korea really didn't have the kind of support it needed. In fact, in some ways, it was almost as bad as Fidel Castro in the 21st century. Except the difference is that after the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Bay of Pigs, we don't hear Cuba saying, we're going to go ahead and wipe you off the face of the map, we've got nuclear weapons, we're going to blow you up. That's not what Cuba's been doing. Cuba's been trying to work with the United States, true. But unfortunately for North Korea, that hasn't been the case. In fact, in many cases, when Americans go to North Korea, really bad idea, but if you do, you are basically signing your death warrant. Because once you get in a jam, it's almost impossible to get home again, alive. That's the young man who died in a coma. What I mean by that. Kim Jong-un is very much a sadist. If you want to talk about somebody who prefers seeing people suffer under undue pain, here's the guy for you. Who basically puts his people through hell and back. Here's the guy for you. The guy who measures gasoline in kilograms instead of liters. Here's the guy for you. The guy that basically has the people live in squalid conditions. Here's the guy for you. Here's a guy that controls your speech, tells you what you can and cannot say. And if you do not do what he says, he's going to make you disappear. Okay? And the sad truth is, a lot of individuals have been, well, let's put it this way. If you are in North Korea and you say something bad against him, you will be exterminated. You know, it's like the Daleks would say, exterminate, exterminate. Yep, that's Kim Jong-un for you. Exterminate you to a perfect T. Not even giving you a chance to represent yourself or family. I'm just going to skim it here, but yeah, that's about the best it's going to get. Okay, so the point here is Kim Jong-un is not a nice guy, and he's not going to be nice. As, you know what, when you get to be an asshole like his family has become, it's no surprise, he's not a nice guy. He doesn't like you, he doesn't like America, because America chose South Korea, and actually helped South Korea to develop their own republic and become successful, and was a trading partner with the Pacific Rim countries. However, China is kind of in a bit of a bind because, number one, China does not really South Korea and North Korea to be annexed and become a giant republic. Because if they ever get that buffer zone that they have on the south between true capitalism versus socialism would be gone. Okay? And right now, that's one of the reasons why they're trying so hard to keep their existing system. Because that's what they want. It keeps their lives easy. It doesn't keep it easy for anybody else. It keeps it just easy for the Chinese to keep the North Korea around as a buffer zone. Even though the poor people of North Korea have to live like dogs. That is sad. And you know, it is true. It's the fact that people who would never had North Koreans, who really, from what I understand, the people themselves are actually very good people. They're dealing with a totalitarian ruler who basically acts like his shit don't stink, even though he's morbidly obese, he has high blood pressure, and he basically has type 2 diabetes. And unfortunately, he lives a good life while they live terrible. That sucks. That really sucks. Now, his saber rattling and playing around with dangerous nuclear weapons has upset a lot of people at the United Nations Security Council. Not one of the leaders of the UNSC, the United Nations Security Council, is on his side. None of them are for him. They're all against. Okay, was it 16 to 0 against? He has basically alienated any potential friends he has. Even China, we don't know if China is his friend right now. or is just trying to remain kind of, neutral and trying to, because remember, China has a lot to lose. First of all, if North Korea does manage to successfully hit Guam, why would he want to hit Guam? For those of you who don't know, Guam is the westernmost territory closest to Panama. We have a military base on Guam. Third, Guam is also where they're a territory of the United States. Same with the Mariana Islands. I did not know that until I found out later on that they actually have representatives. But here's the deal. He's been playing around with his nuclear toys. He's been launching missiles and having them splash down in the Sea of Japan. The Japanese are not happy with that. I'm sure a couple ships have been hit by them shrapnel. And I think Greenpeace should also get involved and tell him that he needs to dredge up all of his garbage and recycle every single one of them things. Okay? It's part of reparations. But we know he won't do that, right? No, of course not. So, because he's been cedar-rabbitling and because he's been acting like an asshole, he has upset the top brass of the military and the Pentagon. And you are going to be one sorry person. I'm putting it nicely. Trust me, his language was a lot less nice than me. Okay? He says, you have crossed the wrong person. You have crossed the wrong country. We aimed, armed, and ready to go. Our bombers are ready and loaded with both conventional and nuclear weapons. We have the power and what might totally turn North Korea into a radioactive. But China doesn't want that, and neither does South Korea, because the nuclear fallout will affect them as well. So North Korea is, China's been trying to tell North Korea, hey, you know what? Can't you cool a little bit? Do we really need to start this? They've got weapons in the megatons. You only got weapons in the kilotons. The amount of damage that an American missile could do to our lands, meaning both North Korea, South Korea, and of course China. And then let's not forget the other countries too, like Cambodia and Laos. Those guys are going to be just as screwed. Let's not forget Vietnam, shall we? The point here is, all of these countries are not going to be very well off once a nuclear weapon or nuclear strike is done. Donald Trump says, I have never changed my mind. The nuclear option is still on the table and we are still ready to go. But we're waiting for them to make the first move. Because, one, even though technically we only had a ceasefire and not a treaty, we'd rather not be the one to call the first shot. Because we don't want to civilians. Okay? There's even been some suggestions that we should use a neutron bomb. Now, Kim Jong-un barely has a hydrogen bomb. Okay, he doesn't even have a hydrogen bomb yet. He has an atom bomb. Okay? Still, bad enough. You don't need to get too much more precise. His weapon is almost similar to what we had in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And look at all the damage that did. So if he hit Guam, it's going to be a lot of hurt people, a lot of radiation sickness, a lot of devastated people, homes destroyed, lives destroyed, families destroyed. Not good. Not good at all. Okay? So, one of my friends told me, whatever's the people in Japan, well, because of this, I don't know how good his guidance system is, but he's already been launching his missiles and having splashed out in the Sea of Japan. Could his missiles guidance system be just barely good enough that he could just specifically hit Guam and not hit Japan in the process? It's very likely that he could hit Japan. It's very possible. Okay? It's also very possible that he could hit Hawaii, which was another of his targets. Both country, areas are very close to where he is, well within the range of his medium-range missiles. Not something I call fun to think about. Alright, now, because of that, I'm going to keep maybe posted. Let's see, what else? But for now, let's say this much. I apologize I didn't get this video in earlier tonight. Like I said, we had a barbecue and it got really shitty and really messy. And probably look at my top before you can see. I washed my hair real quick so I look good for TV. But you know, I really have to be honest. Don't forget Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's right, this Sunday. Okay? Now, I believe that is the 13th. Well, what says the 12th, right? Yeah, well, you said on this thing here, you said that the date's the 11th, but you said on your phone that the date was the 12th. No, could have been the first time. Because tomorrow is the 12th. And it is kind of late. It's 8:31 p.m. my time right now. So, somewhere out there in the universe. It is actually Saturday morning. It's the 12th. The 13th of August is, it will not be using Google Hangouts on air. I'll be using a program called FMLE. Only because we haven't used FMLE lately. And I figured we might as well. Because we did finally get the picture look pretty good. Please do comment, subscribe, and we'll try to do our best to keep you apprised of all what's going on. We're at China, Japan. It's a hotbed over there right now. It's really got a lot of things going on in the Asian Pacific countries. And as far as how is this going to affect our relationship with other countries? Well, the United Nations Security Council is in 100% agreement with us. It was unanimous that North Korea suffered the consequences. So because of that, because they said that they will suffer the consequences, the good news is that they will suffer the consequences. Okay? I guarantee you they will suffer the consequences. About something that has nothing to do with that. What about what's going on with the sun? Ah, the sun. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Well, the sun. The sunlight has been acting all weird. There was a massive solar flare on the backside of the sun that generated a huge weeks ago. That they said if that thing had been facing Earth and that thing fired off, it could have been total chaos for part of the planets facing the sun at the time of the CME. We could have seen whole countries, whole regions of countries being in the dark. Yes, we could. You know, the sun, we can't really do much with the sun. The sun, we know about it. We know about the condition with the sun. We know what the sun has been, for the most part, it's been quiet, but there's always going to launch a few nasties out there. Hopefully, we'll be lucky. We'll dodge it, but if we don't, well, this won't be too many of my broadcasts left in that case. But I also want to talk about podcasts too. I was just listening to when something Danger Dawn was talking about this on Super Planet Dawn. I want to talk about something that has nothing to do with Super Planet Dawn, but something that affects us. Okay? Our channel, our monetization go down the shitter. Okay? Big time. It's not just me. Like I just said, a lot of the countries have noticed the same thing. YouTube has lost over $750 million in advertising revenue in the month of July. And it has impacting so many YouTube channels. Small, it's not very big, it's not huge. But because it does have monetization, because it does make some revenue. Yeah, it's on. Oh, so the reason why I was asking Michelle that was because sometimes she forgets to check the microphone status. It's on. I didn't turn it on. Okay. Alright. So what I'm trying to say is, we're seeing our sales, our advertising, go through the fucking floor. They can't change that. It's just going to happen that way. Okay? At the same time, our subscribership is kind of fluctuating a bit. We need new subscribers, and I think our channel needs to work on new material. Now, when I started this channel, it started out a chance for me to basically shoot my mouth off. And I still use it that way, but I'm trying to also cover other things of other interest to other people. And that does not make it easy, because when we do our channel, me and Lumi has her own, and sometimes things just, just don't work out well as we want. And we have people, like I explained in a vlog, I think yesterday or was it the day before, why we were so concerned about all the dislikes. And we are strongly concerned about also the Google diversity memo. And we're concerned about the Google censorship. And we are concerned how it's going to affect our video. And how do the dislikes fit into that? Algorithms that they have created. How does the algorithm affect our channel's growth and maintenance? We don't know. We have no clue. We don't even have an idea. All we know is that our viewership is kind of so-so, and kind of so-so, and but the number of dislikes is alarming. I mean, really alarming, the number of dislikes showing up. We don't know why. No one's talking about it. Is it the YouTube algorithm doing it? Somebody who just has an axe to grind doing the dislikes? We don't know. What we do know is that it's hurting channels like mine that are trying their best, that are small. We're trying to keep up with on a website that is being censored from within, and it's hurting our channel, and it's hurting a lot of channels, not just mine. So now we can talk more detail about this on Sunday at 9 o'clock, and we are. It's gonna be open chat. We're going to be reading your questions, and we'll try to give you your answers. I'd like to try to find some way to save the chats so that we can go back and read them again. I'm not sure how to do that, because I'd like to, because sometimes I may miss something, but don't be mad at me if I do, okay? Now, we got some demos to work on in a couple days. We're still waiting for the canned CI drops. I was able to buy 2 boxes. Those will be here probably maybe by Saturday or maybe even Monday. That's another thing too, is that even the United States Postal Service is still saying they're losing money and they're in the red. First of all, I'd like to talk about that real quick. There's something going on with the Postal Service. They can't make money. It's not because they're not getting the traffic. They get traffic. The problem is that for some reason their pensions, their expenses are outrageous. Okay? They keep raising postage, which causes people to want to go ahead and find alternatives to sending things out to the post office. And that's cutting into the revenue. The lack of people writing personal letters is cutting into the revenue, which is just like any kind of brick and mortar store. It's just like with JCPenney. It's the same thing with Macy's. You're not going to have people running off to drop mail off at the post office when you can send email and social chat sites like Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and or call people on Skype or Google Hangouts on air or whatever. You're gonna be you gotta get with the 21st century. You gotta think 21st century. It's not the 19th century anymore, guys. You guys are 200 years behind the times. You guys, I think in one way, were doing better when you were a government entity. Because when the United States Postal Service was a government entity, we had a couple things going for you. But it's just like any other government entity, they're slowly growing efficient as they get bigger and top heavy. But the mail is a serious issue. We need to be able to receive mail. Sure, just like I'd like to be able to go into JCPenney's or Macy's or any other store to buy clothes. There's nothing more convenient than when a mailman, or mailwoman in my case, brings my mail to my house. And my packages to my house, and I can get them, and then I can open them, and I can unbox them right there on the spot. The thing is that the mail system is not keeping up with the 21st century. It is not keeping up with the needs of the future. It's top-heavy. But let's be honest. I don't think FedEx and UPS is doing necessarily any better, since they all are depending on fuel, and they all basically are working with the United States Postal Service to get packages to the final destination to the person's mailing address by bringing the packages to the Postal Service to have them make the final leg of the journey. It's a good compromise, but the sad truth is, I don't think the system is very efficient at all. So I think the United States Postal Service, for example, is going to need to rethink its strategy. Same thing with the retail and the malls and everything else that are still seeing that they're suffering. Is because if you don't change the way things are being done, you guys are not going to hang around much longer. It's just the way it is. I hope this came out good. And by the way, I want to thank you all for watching these videos, no matter what. Even the dislikers. Although, it would be nice if you could like once in a while. Really, I'm not that bad. I don't eat babies for breakfast, and I certainly don't treat you badly. So, there's really can't see a reason why you would dislike something when really we're just trying to do a good job for this time and age. But for now, thank you very much for watching this. Now, because the way this program works, I have to record a little bit of emptiness, or the program is going to get all messed up. So what I'm going to do is just shoot some B-roll and add it to this one. And I'll count down by a factor of 10 seconds, and then I'll hit the stop button. Okay? See you guys later. Bye-bye.